What's going on, YouTube, fam? This your boy Tony 2 times, and we back with another episode of Hood Tales, man. Before I start, be sure to tap that like button. Definitely watch this video to the end to hear the full story and all the details in the case. For the day one, fam, y'all already know it's all love. Thanks for tuning back into another episode. If you're new to the channel and you feeling the content, feel free to subscribe. Definitely hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time we drop a new video. Oh yeah, definitely share the channel with your peoples. Everybody is welcome. Let's get right into the story. When you are in your car, driving through your neighborhood on the way home, most of us feel like, okay, now the journey is over. I made it back home safely. When you live somewhere you are comfortable at, you never really think to yourself, I wonder what the neighbors got going on next door or around the block. Usually, if it doesn't cross our threshold, we feel other people's lives and problems are none of our business. We all strive to live somewhere that's considered safe, a quiet neighborhood with friendly people. And for some individuals, they might grow up in a community in their parents' house and love what they called home so much, they themselves stay in the same area when they purchase their home. To a lot of us, our homes and neighborhoods we choose to settle down in and build a life for ourselves at is our sanctuaries and safe havens. If you are not in any situations and stay to yourself, you really never expect for trouble to knock on your front door or to be around the corner. But unfortunately, no matter how put up, out the way, or safe we think we are because of how we move or because we live in a good part of town, life has a strange way of reminding us all that nowhere in this world is really safe. The wrong place at the wrong time or a case of mistaken identity could be the difference in you making it home or not, even in your own neighborhood. And on this episode of Hood Tales, we'll be taking it to Houston, Texas, to discuss a case of a family seeking revenge that targeted their neighbor in a fatal case of mistaken identity. Back in 2021, 29-year-old Eddie Reese Clark III had made a good life for himself. He had his CDLs, was a truck driver, looking to purchase his own truck and to eventually branch off from his company to do his own thing. Eddie worked hard to provide for the most important people in his life, his kids. Eddie had big dreams to one day take the money he made from trucking to open a food truck with one of his homeboys he grew up with. He was the youngest of 3 kids, and his mother and father raised their family in an area called Westminster Village in northwest Harris County. Growing up, Eddie played sports, made a lot of friends, always had an outgoing personality, and kept a smile on his face. The subdivision was considered safe, so even in adulthood, Eddie stayed in the area he was familiar with in his same neighborhood. Also living in the community was a big family, last name Argueta. And their home was the son, 19-year-old Joe, the mother, 39-year-old Florinda, the father, 45-year-old Lewis, also Joe's uncle, 29-year-old Margarito Alcantar. The family had been living there, and most of the time, it was peaceful. All until Joe went through a bad breakup with his girlfriend. After a few weeks, her new boyfriend would start making threats and pulling up on a late night to the family's home, vandalizing their vehicles, even shooting at the house. The family would contact local police and file multiple reports after the incident. Joe's ex-girlfriend's new boyfriend came by multiple times with multiple people to do damage. In one report, the family stated it looked like they was driving a black Dodge Charger. Tired of filing reports and feeling like authorities wasn't taking the situation serious, the family decided they would take matters into their own hands. They came up with a plan to stay up all night so that they could catch and confront the people who were damaging their property. Then on May 18th, 2021, the family put the plan in motion. At about 11:30 p.m. that night, they saw what they thought was the black Charger driving up their block. They ran out the home, attempted to block the car in with their vehicles, while Joe, his father, and uncle had weapons, including a bat and gun. The person in the car attempted to pull in the yard and reverse. As they started driving the opposite way, the 3 men chased the car and somebody fired 9 shots, causing the vehicle to crash into a tree, and a man hopped out on foot who tried to run before collapsing. Joe approached the man and asked, "Who sent you? And why have you been targeting my home and my family?" The man told them in a faint voice, "Why did y'all do this to me? I don't even know you and have done nothing to your peoples." Witnesses who heard the commotion called local police, who responded to the area to find a man suffering from a gunshot wound. He was airlifted to a local hospital so doctors could attempt to save his life. Back on the scene was Joe and his mother, Florinda, but his father, Louis, and uncle, Margarito, had fled the scene after hearing police coming. Joe told police about the attack on the family's property, also about the police reports that they filed, which indicated that the car was a black Charger, but the car that crashed into the tree was a gray Dodge Challenger. It seemed the family made a terrible mistake and targeted the wrong vehicle. 2 hours later, the victim would pass away at a local hospital and was unfortunately identified as 29-year-old Eddie. He lived just 1 block away from the family and was on his way home the night the family ambushed him. At first, Joe claimed to be the shooter and was taken into custody, charged with first-degree hit. But across the street from their house, a neighbor's Ring camera caught the whole thing. As police got the footage, they realized the whole family played a part, even Florinda, who blocked Eddie in. Police would go back to the home and arrest her and announce the family all now were charged with first-degree hit. After reviewing the video, the mother and son were both held, but her brother and husband were still on the run. A judge confronted Joe on his first court date and told the young man, "This is what happens when you try to take the law into your own hands." He pleaded it was a mistake and his family didn't mean to ambush an innocent neighbor who they never met before. Eventually, Joe posted $50,000 bail and Florinda $20,000. Eddie's best friend, who grew up with him in the same area, spoke out about the lack of the police response to the family's claims, and it could have led to his friend and brother being taken away from his family. He stated he wasn't condoning the family's actions, but felt things could have been handled a lot different. Even though the mother and son were on bail, Louis and Margarito were still on the run, and the mother and son claimed they had no knowledge of where the 2 men were at. A few months later, Margarito was taken into custody, but Louis would be on the run. Still 2 years later, police kept asking the family his whereabouts, but no one claimed to know. Police assumed he was still in the Houston area working in construction. I still haven't found any information on authorities locating and arresting the father, and Joe recanted him being the shooter and claimed it was actually his father who did the shooting. The young man stated he only had a bet. As of now, the case hasn't made its way to trial yet, and the family is innocent until proven otherwise. Rest in peace to Eddie. I send my prayers and deepest condolences to his family and kids. To lose your life coming home in your own neighborhood is messed up, especially when you wasn't even the person they were looking for. As for the family, I understand their frustration, but to feel entitled enough to ambush somebody without knowing a face, a name, or even the exact car is wild. They literally took this man's life for nothing. I'm gonna leave this one open for discussion. Y'all let me know what y'all think about the situation in the comments. And remember, we gotta succeed, not to fail, so we won't be just another hood tale. Man, this was a messed up story. I ain't gonna lie. This kind of triggered something in me because I could actually picture myself just driving home and somebody just running up on you. You don't know what the situation is. You don't know what's going on. But yeah, rest in peace, that man. I ain't gonna talk too much more about this one. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. I appreciate you if you made it to the end. This another episode of Hood Tales. This your boy Tony 2 times. Love, fam. I'm out.